I put yes to expects obedience.
Right.
Almost like not non-negotiable, but they just need to understand that in specific areas, you know, we're going to be inflexible. We
Parenting skills groups run by schools on school premises are increasingly common in the battle to engage parents in their children's learning. But one school, Kennet, near Newbury, has developed a remarkable support programme that brings harder-to-reach parents and their children together.
Times when you can or can't use your quotation.
3 years ago, they set up the Marlborough Group, a weekly programme aimed at a few children who are having problems at school and where follow-up calls revealed issues at home.
We identify a group of pupils who have a variety of different needs, different concerns. We then call the parents, we make phone calls, we work with our family support workers, we bring them into school, albeit perhaps with some difficulties, because let's face it, some of these parents are the ones who might be reluctant about coming into school. Once we've broken that barrier, they have a session where pupils work on curriculum work and target setting alongside their parents. And for some parents, this is their first real experience of curriculum work since they left school themselves, and they may have had troubled experiences of school.
6 families are on this year's course. 3 were happy to be filmed. Amanda and Daniel are working on a starter exercise. They're writing down their understanding of the house rules.
Where do you have to put your shoes?
In a cupboard.
In a cupboard. Okay. What about things like bedtime or things like jobs that you have to do? Yeah. Okay. What other sort of rules? What things do Mum and Dad expect you to do? Perhaps that you think that's a rule in our house.
Jobs.
Jobs? Do you have particular jobs to do?
Walking the dog.
Walking the dog, that's a nice one.
Carolyn and Alison are part-time pastoral workers, while Bev is a former head of house at the school.
To be in on time, we didn't think about that one, did we?
Which is working very well at the moment, isn't it?
Good. Do you think of that as a rule then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's quite a big one, isn't it? Kate's away in the cupboard. Did you know that?
Yeah.
But you just didn't write it down. Okay. There are youngsters who do avoid school sometimes. And often when you start just rubbing the surface and giving them a little bit of attention, you suddenly realise that there are more problems that they've been hiding. Often those problems aren't just isolated with a young person. They are coming from home, and the difficulties at home or the attitude of the parents is what's creating their attitude in school.
So leave the kitchen tidy if you've been out there.
At the moment, Dylan isn't attending school.
Is there any kind of expectation about your bedroom and...
It's already tidy. I tidied it this morning.
OK, but you meant to keep it tidy?
Yeah, gets told off if we don't.
There you go, so maybe...
It's tidy.
Well, maybe that's one you should put
Don't
down
leave
there.
the TV.
And you don't tidy at the bathroom.
You're doing well here, Dylan. You thought you had nothing, look. How are you getting on, Tina?
You don't have to clean the bathroom. That's your job.
Yes.
In the same room.
You had a bath last thing. You would have thought the dog had had a bath. There was all hairs in there for some reason.
Well, won't go there.
Little did know, I actually squashed a spider when I was in there.
OK.
There's a spider under my...
So maybe there's rules about leaving the bathroom tidy as well when you've been in there. Tidy for the next person. I think it's probably your job, actually.
My job.
The young people get individual time with their parents, which if they at home they may not have if they've got other siblings. They realise that their parents do care about them and that they're willing to give up their time and come into the school, which is quite difficult for some parents. So rather than just sitting down talking about the problems and what's not going on, they can have a bit of a laugh together, a bit of a joke, and then start sort of looking at what's happening at home, but in a non-threatening way.
It's just really good to know that you're not alone, that other people are having problems too with their children, and just to listen that you think, well, that idea may work for me, you know, just generally to pick up what you can and try it and talk about it.
What's changed since you started coming to the group?
Been more behaved and get more work done at school.
And how about your relationship with your mum?
Better.
In session 1, the pupils set targets to achieve by the end of the 6-week course. Each week, they review progress.
The children we're targeting are children who of finding they're getting themselves into trouble and difficulties at school. So that may be that they're constantly turning up late, or they're disrupting classes, or they may have some emotional problems and they sort of may storm out if somebody says something in a class and upsets them.
So it's more just...
A few months ago, the relationship between Jade and her mother Lynn had almost broken down.
Right, your turn now, Jade. How have you been this week? Have you had a good week?
Yeah.
I can't remember all of your targets. Certainly one of them was relating to homework, wasn't it? How's that been?
It's all right.
It's been OK, has it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm doing more.
You're doing more homework? Good. Well, that's fantastic. That's really good. Yeah, so how many pieces a night are you managing to get done now? You're doing it all, or is there still some? Not all of it, OK.
2, 3 pieces, something like that.
Well, that's really positive.
And what were your other targets?
Bedroom.
Oh, bedroom.
And Lewis.
Oh, and Lewis,
oh, that's right. How
Brother.
are they going? Tell us about those two, how they've been
The
working.
bedroom's tidy.
Your bedroom's tidy. It's absolutely spotless, isn't it? Fantastic.
It's always done it. But to be fair to her, she has kept it.
Yeah.
Good. And Lewis, is he managing to keep house a little more?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He still comes out with the... He's not getting involved now, because I had another chat with him about her. You know, said that you really ought to stop it because it is upsetting her. And these snidey, stupid comments that he comes out with. He came out with one, I think it was yesterday, and it was last night, when they were all together, because they had a lot of friends around and that last night. But she actually didn't take it to heart. Good. You know, she come back... I was quite shocked, actually, because she actually come back with something quite witty. And there was no swearing in there.
Oh, well done.
Good girl.
So it didn't kind of wind you up or get cross, you just...
Not like it normally does.
No, that's right, so that's
really she positive. Actually come back with something, I can't remember what it was, but something quite witty.
I've improved because one of my targets was homework, and I've started doing my homework a lot more and not getting arguments as much, and I haven't been, so yeah, it's helped.
She would never admit she was wrong. It was always me or somebody else. But she will actually now sit there in front of the other people that are in the group and admit, no, I did do that.
Well, we haven't been arguing as much, and that makes it better because then there's not so much like stress and shouting in the house, so it calms my mum down more.
She's really surprised me, Jade does, actually, because she enjoys it, and I thought the little book that we have to do, she was point blank refused to do it. But she doesn't.
Well, I don't really see them as hard to reach parents, really. I think a lot of people have set views about agencies helping them. They may have been let down in the past, they may be quite wary, they may have had a good school experience themselves. And I think sometimes once you actually build a relationship with a parent and they get to know you, it's a bit like a stepping stone. And once then they will come into school and they will get involved in the groups and the resources you're wanting to offer. Once the sort of fear's gone, really, they know they're not going to be judged and that it's to help.
Have a good lesson and we'll see you at break.
Bye,
See you later, Dan.
See you.
The children are then able to go back to class, and we stay for refreshments with the parents, following which is an informal session with the family support workers, but there's an underlying tone of parenting and parenting classes going on during that session.
So I thought we'd look at sort of boundaries and how we set them at home, really, sort of just have a little idea of who sets them and how long they've been.
Not like being funny, but Dylan really don't usually do what he's told. He don't follow anything. He don't.
So yours is week to week.
He still go out.
Really? Yeah,
that's why. Regardless of what we say, he still go.
Okay.
You know, I can't keep him in because he still go anyway. So.
Okay, so that's something.
He's a bit like that, really. I don't know. Nothing really works with us.
I've been sitting down with Daniel and discussing punishments and things because I tended to use the grounding.
If he's like 10 minutes late, I'm panicking.
Okay. And is he often late, Dylan?
No, but he has been, where I don't know where he is, and often he's been at James's house and told me.
Okay. And maybe that's something you need to sit down and talk to Dylan about and say
Not
that why I'm ringing you
but...
is because,
yeah.
you know, if you're due back in at a certain time, I'd expect you back in at that time.
Yeah.
And if you're not in, then I'm going to worry about you.
You know, like when you think, like, oh God, he's missing, someone's got him, you know? But it's said, like, when I read in a magazine, it's very rare that your kids would get, you know, abducted or whatever, but you still worry about it.
Yeah, of course you worry, but as I say, we can kind of
I suppose
encourage
every
them to get
parent's the
back.
same, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are.
newspapers are great if a story's just broken,
Yeah.
to just talk about it at home, to say, oh, did you hear about what happened to that girl? What do you think? What would you have done? And sometimes it's general, sort of, to have a conversation rather than, you're late and this could have happened and that could have happened, when they're not listening. If you do it in a really relaxed kind of way.
So it's about building his confidence and finding things that he does well and looking for some.
It's always
something
like been
positive.
low in confidence, and I don't know if it's because of us, and because we've never like run him down or said, you know, that's not good enough. Trouble is with me, like when Dylan's dad sets like these boundaries, I won't agree to them.
Well, that's
right.
Yeah, that is a problem, isn't
Because
it?
I think
Having to be
it's too hard,
between
I
the two of you.
think.
That is
And then we'll argue
very
over
difficult.
it.
I do feel for you there, Tina, because I had that with their dad.
Yes.
It's like, he said to me, you set the rules. I'm like, fine,
Yeah.
but you have to back me on them.
Yeah.
Right, so I set the rules.
That's crucial, isn't it?
Lewis would break them, say, and then he would sound off, and then Larry would get involved, and you don't know whether you're coming or going then.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is a child doesn't know whether they're coming or going either. I really do look forward to coming, because it is nice to talk to other people that are having similar problems with their children, as opposed to talking to friends who won't really be honest with you. You know, if I said, oh, you know, what do I do about this situation, you know, with Jade just being really nasty, you know, verbally, my friends wouldn't be honest with me, I don't think, in how to deal with it, because fear of upsetting me or offending me. Before me, she was really obnoxious. She was really awful child. And she would be right in my face, you know, saying all this nasty stuff. And she wouldn't bat an eye, she'd just walk away from gifts.
So what do you think's changed then?
My mum said to me, when she goes off like that, just don't answer her. Just turn around, walk away, walk into another room, go out of the house, just do something, just go away from her. And it was hard to do it, to keep walking away from her and, like, counting to 10, because, I mean, you were seething. Yes. Because she delighted in upsetting me, I think. That's what it was, to push me to that stage where, you know, I would be crying and, you know, at screaming point with her. And she'd just stand there and laugh. But she can't get over that thing of because she has been so horrible for such a long time, that now she's not. When she is nice, she still deems that she's being horrible. I can't remember what. I'm surprised, actually, because I make the effort to come. I mean, it's like last week, I actually had an accident. Jade said to me, she goes, you're not going to be able to come. I said, I will come. I said, because, you know, we've started, me and Jade have started, and we've got to see it right the way through to the end.
We're trying to encourage parents who are nervous about coming into school, and it's making sure that they feel that they can come in. And it isn't about just giving them an invitation. It's ringing and saying to them, this would be really good for you because...
Some might be sceptical about investing so much in so few. But Paul German feels that a school that's genuinely comprehensive must look out for all its students.
Well, I think it's important to target absolutely every parent and every child in the school. And if you've got, even a school of 1,700 like this one, if there are 10 parents who are struggling or feel that they're not able to support their child, that's 10 parents too many. And so the sort of support we may want to put in place might be quite small scale, it's very targeted, but nevertheless, it's important that everybody feels part of the community and part of the school that they belong to.